a common law marriage is recognized in Michigan. So this question will come up. People sometimes refer to this, they're in a long-term relationship with somebody but never got legally married. They refer to it as common law marriage. They refer to the person as their common law wife. Michigan does not recognize these marriages as valid. It's not a marriage. It doesn't meet the definition of a marriage the way Michigan and most states in the United States look at it. So common law marriage is not a thing. For better or worse, it's not going to be something you can use if you're, usually it comes up, people are going their separate ways and they're living together. And, for example, you've been living with somebody for a long time, but your name's not on the real estate. You're living in their house, but you're not on the title. And maybe you put some money into it. Maybe you've done some other things. You've treated it as your own house. You've helped take care of it. Based on domestic relations, marriage, divorce, all those kind of laws, you got nothing. You have no claim. Now, do you have a claim under real estate laws? Yeah, maybe. That's questionable in Michigan because there's really a very, oldest time concept called statute of frauds, where if you're not on the title to property, you're pretty much out. Real estate is very black and white about that, for better or worse. It's depending on who you are in the situation, it's how it goes. You cannot have a claim against real estate when you're not on the title. That's going to be really unlikely that would happen. But as far as the concept of common law marriage, doesn't exist, never happening. There are very few states that still recognize common law marriages in the U.S. They're Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Montana, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, and Texas. So not Michigan, they don't recognize it. Now, if you have a child together and you were never married, there's of course things you can do as far as that. It wouldn't be common law marriage, but it would be dealing with custody, parenting time, child support, whatever you need to do. You certainly would have a right to file a custody case, a complaint for custody if you're the father of the child and you go in your separate ways. But those situations can start to feel kind of like a common law marriage. You've been living together, you have a child together, you were never married, and now the other person's wanting you to pay their car payment or pay their lease on their car. Maybe you leased them a car. We had a client last week that did that, where he leases a car for really what was ex-girlfriend basically. And now she's pursuing some remedy saying he needs to keep paying that. And there really isn't anything to stand on with that. If you're not married, you don't have those rights. The court, if you file a custody case, for example, you have a child together, you're splitting up, you file a custody case, you deal with custody, parenting time, and child support issues, the court has no jurisdiction over property between the two of you. They can't do anything about personal property, furniture, whatever's going on with personal property. The court has no jurisdiction. They don't have any say about it. You two could fight about it. You two can agree, disagree, not involved with the court. Real estate, same thing. Cars, whatever it is, there's no remedy available under Michigan law as far as common law marriage. Now, there are some other things that are possible. Custody is a good example. You may be able to have a claim against someone in small claims court for property issues or other types of things. But the common law marriage thing isn't going to happen. Now, if you are from a state that recognizes common law marriage, basically the way those work, they're treating it as a marriage. It's a valid marriage under their laws. So if you then moved to Michigan and you had something that would have been recognized as a common law marriage from another state like Texas or Oklahoma or Kansas, maybe. I mean, it's possible. You could look into it. It's a good time to get advice from an attorney if you're splitting up and you have some reason to try to pursue this as being a common law marriage. It happens most of the time with men. It's going to be the other way around. It's a gender type thing. It's going to be a woman making a claim against man's property. That seems like that comes up more often, but it of course can go both ways. But I think the more common thing is going to be custody, parenting time, support, how to deal with that. And those can all be done regardless of whether you're married or not. So then common law marriage is not an issue. The other side of that, the additional part of common law marriage is then there's no obligation to support anybody when you split up either. Go your separate ways. There's no alimony. There's no spousal support. There's no requirement for you to support this person because you're going your separate ways and you were never married. Divorce laws don't apply. So none of that is gonna really be an issue. So hopefully that helps with this question of common law marriage. It comes up from time to time. People can, could be living together 10, 15 years sometimes and never got married. And they're not gonna be treated as if they're married, not the way Michigan and most states do it. So Hopefully that helps. Thanks.